morning, folks.
Morning, Prof.
Morning, Tan.
Morning, Prof.
Morning.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Prof.
Good morning, Professor.
Yeah, I have no idea what you all are doing here this morning. You should be out there going up for a nice run, Bharat? A nice run out there instead of sitting in front of your desk. You know, it's interesting. Why is it showing this way? Let me just readjust my view. My view seems to be only of my own face. Not too great. Yeah, that's much better. There you go. Right. So we've got this morning, up and early, we got Mr. Jason Chi, we've got Azmin, Nohashima, we've got Nohafiz, we've got Faisal, we've got Gobi, Shamani, Atonia. Wow, nice name that. Who else is there? Yeah, I tell you, I've never looked forward to the Sunday mornings as much as I do in these last 6 weeks. I really do. You guys come on and you are all smiling. At least some of you, the pictures are smiling now, like Kirsten smiling, not Dalila. Durga. Some of you are, I know some of you are done. They have not switched on their camera. You know why? They're not quite awake yet. But to be fair, if you listen to my voice, this is my morning voice. Morning voice. That means I haven't spoken to many people yet. I just said hello to my wife, but that's about it. So hasn't warmed up. You know, you have this thing called the morning voice. Yeah, morning voice. So anyway, right. Well, first things first, I want to forewarn you that this is not going to be a long class. I know there is great sadness. Surin is already bowing her head thinking.
Morning, Prof.
Morning. Yes. Surin is just saying that so that she knows. She wants me to know that she can hear me. The point is, y'all. I'm not sure what you're expecting. But it's not going to be a long class, so I'm going to have to disappoint some of you. And I know in the background others are celebrating right now when they hear it's a short class. Well, I think there's only 3 things I'm going to do with you. I always tell you what I'm going to do before I do it to you, right? I think that's only common courtesy. 3 things I'm going to do this morning. And this whole 3 things, surprisingly, is not going to take more than, I think, well, the most important thing will take only about 6 minutes and 15 seconds. The second most important thing will take about maybe another 4 minutes. And the last important things may be taking about, well, a little bit longer, maybe 13 minutes. And that's about it. Because people like Nick Zatel and all, we all got things to do. More important. Nick Zatel, you're supposed to disagree with me, but never mind. You're supposed to vehemently. And morning, Simon. Simon Low is here. Zalina is here. Who else? Yeah. So I'm so sorry. I can only address those with the cameras on.
Hey, Prof.
Hi, morning. You know, the masala here, there's one student, some time ago, actually made a remark that I did not participate equally with all students. And I'll tell you now, I don't. I am so biased. I'm biased for those whose camera is on. You can't blame me. If your camera is not on, it looks like I'm talking to a poster. And you all know that I'm sane, right? I don't talk to posters. I talk to people, as you should too. So I can't do anything about that. So if you want to be spoken to, you got to be seen, right? So great. So we've got this. Wow, I've got a full screen of on people. Okay, guys, here's what we're going to do. Let me think which I should do first. Yeah, the first thing I will do, I think everybody's here because that's important. Let me see. Yeah, I got 4 pages of people, man. 4 people, 4 pages. Hey, Fatina is here. Hi, Fatina. I don't know whether she can hear me.
Hi, Prof.
You know, I'm purposely mentioning Fatina because Fatina is one of those students who is really love to read her paper, doing very well. Fatina, congratulations. Well done. Uh, two persons I can mention.
Thank you, Prof.
Yeah, thank you for making my day. These are people with voices in their papers. The other one, there are two I can mention now. I'm sure there may be others. I haven't completely finished marking. The other one is Ten Muli. Who's Ten Muli? Have I seen this person?
Hi,
Ten.
Prof.
Where you? Where you, girl? I can't see you. Sorry, because
Hi, Prof. I'm here.
oh, Ten Muli. Oh, Tamil. There you go. Got that. So these two students of just special mention this morning.
Thank you, Prof.
No, you all work for it, and so that's really great. And I'm sure that others will do well as well. So what I want to do this morning is to um, first things first is to go through with you the final assessment. I can see now some people woken up already, like as if they had coffee. The final assessment, and guess what? Here's the good news. Because I like all of you, I'm going to release the final assessment paper today, this morning, immediately after I finish. Okay, the class. Actually, it's supposed to be next Saturday, supposed to be 22. That's tomorrow. But you know, me, uh, extremely kind. Extra done, extra 24 hours. Come on. You gotta you guys are good lah. I don't see anybody standing up and giving me a standing ovation. I feel apa ni? This guy give you which means, Intan, you know what this means or not? The implicacy. The implicacy is very serious because I give it to you now shortly, maybe 8:30 by 9:50. You got it already. I'll be posting it. It's not on the assignment page yet. You get it. You will start doing it. There's a high chance that you will finish it by this evening. Wow. Can you imagine?
Wow.
You know what that means? That means that you'll have one whole week because the time period to finish this is one whole week. That means you will have one whole week of Netflix. Conscience free. Kadang-kadang you watch the movie kan, tapi you rasa, I got some assignment to do, I got something to do. You rasa like, tak senang lah, not comfortable kan, because you have other commitment. Like I'm gonna take that away for you, so you can do it quick. Right. So getting right down to it. And also, before I forget, Selamat Hari Raya, right? Welcome back. I'm quite amazed to see so many people.
Thank you, Prof.
I'm thinking that look at this. Either you, I think it shows your dedication, lah. Dedication to the purpose, to the cause. I want to just look for that particular slide where I will be able to show you this thing. Should I show you that first, or I tell you what? Let me show you something else first as a backdrop, just in case one or two people haven't come in, because it's a very short thing. I also want to, one is I want to give you some feedback on some errors that have been made earlier. That's one. Then I want to show you the final assessment and go through it with you, right? So you understand what is required. And the last part is the least important, which I think that is just to give you further tips on how to answer questions better. Okay, guys. See, one of the things you will notice that is that, in my opinion, there's never like a weak student and a good student. It's just that the weaker or the student who does not know how to approach a question. So jadi we have to kind of like guide them a little bit more. That last part is for that. Okay, because what I've noticed is the tendency is for a good student to continue to do well and the weak student to sometimes continue to do badly. And that is our fault, right? That is our fault because we've not guided. So it's too young thing. So I think let's go through that first so you get some feedback. and then you can, it will help you lah. It will help you a lot. Let me see here. I'm going to put out on the screen just to share this bit with you. It's so funny because where is it? Where is it? Can you all see? Hazila can see.
Yes, we can see Dr.
Yes,
Prof.
See, Prof.
Yes.
Thanks. Because sometimes yesterday I had a session with one of my students, my doctoral student, and we had some technical errors. Okay, anyway, guys, if you look here, I'm going to talk about some avoidable mistakes. But the sad part is they are simple mistakes that students make. I'm not saying all of you make this mistake, okay? Some of you make it, some of you don't. But generally, it's something for us all to learn so that we can improve. Not only for this subject, guys, for other subjects as well, right? And that'll help you, right? So getting feedback, I always feel is important that the student knows how to avoid certain things, all right? So for those of you, nothing to do with you, then it's okay, you don't have to worry too much. So avoidable mistakes, sad ones though. Number one, weak referencing. Itu dia. Right, weak referencing. Your referencing, you have to make sure that you do the referencing firstly, or don't do it wrongly. No inside citations. That means many of you have got references, tapi in the I'm not sure where the references are coming from, because you are not actually citing those references in your text. That means, let's say you write, according to Adam Smith, he said this. Then in brackets, you must put Smith, maybe 1976 or whatever. That citation must be in the text itself, and then only you put it in the reference. So many students, unfortunately, have references, but it doesn't appear in the text at all. So the purpose of referencing is then totally lost. So some of you, but I do understand unfortunately, this is not the class to teach you that. But honestly, you can learn it very easily. Just go online and look for referencing. There's so many sites that can teach you. And it's worth learning, guys, because many of you may be starting the course. You must have learned this so you can apply it in your MBA. And tomorrow, if you are doing further studies, it'll help you as well. It's like learning a language, right? You learn Bahasa, you learn English, you learn Mandarin, right? Even if you learn Tamil, you will use it. It's necessary. Somewhere, somehow, it becomes very useful. Might as well learn, isn't it? Right? By the way, I'm starting my Mandarin speaking class soon. Simon, you don't mess with me, okay? Next time I will talk to you only in Mandarin, nothing else.
No problem. 没问题.
I'm showing off you. I said I'm going to start. I haven't started now. Too much. Right? Dated references. Some of you use references. Alamak, very long time ago. By the way, the Alamak Hari Raya song is going viral internationally. Are you aware of that? Okay. Lucky you all are not in my class physically. Otherwise,
Yes,
we will sing that song. Harunisa, what do you think? If we had a physical class, would we sing the Halamak song and record it and let it go viral?
Okay, Prof.
Oh, there you go. See, these are the people who we need in our class. So guys, dated references means not the old references. Be careful, because now there's many. I do work with my students. They are doing 2024 references, 2023. So as early as possible to show you that you're up to date. The other thing is APA format, the formatting in which you write as a specific format. Now, many of you may not understand why these things are necessary, but actually it is. Once you get familiar, you realize that for technical purposes, it's very necessary to show that, to be able to verify your work. So this is why it's important. So even if you don't understand why it's important, follow, and then eventually it will come back to you. Okay, and I know it's a bit, how should I use the word, leceh to do this referencing sebenarnya. It's hard. I agree with you, right? But this is the discipline. and it's necessary so that people can check your work and all. Okay, that's number one. Okay, number two, I think there's only 10. Don't worry. Not attending to every question provided. You know, the way I've given you the assignment, I've given you in a way that guides you. You cannot go wrong, right? You cannot go wrong. But still, Nisa, do you know many students got 5 marks and below? I'm not kidding you. I'm talking about the first assignment. Upon 40, they got 5 marks and below. Those of you, that reminds me, before I forget, please check your marks. If you have 5 marks and below, check my remarks, right? Some of you have come back to me. It means you have resubmitted as required. Good. But some of you have are still looking at it. So please check. All right. And part of the reason is because I've guided you in such a way that I give you the question. Some of you just omit some question, like just don't answer, just carry on to the next one. that I don't understand why. Right? A very good example is in the first assignment where we ask you the question of strategic groups. And you notice I didn't really teach you about strategic groups. Why? Why? You mean to say I can't teach you about strategic? I could. I didn't. And on purpose. Because I want you to see something that if you don't understand, go and read it. So some of you saw it and didn't understand, went and read it on your own. And then when you applied it wrong. Others applied it correct. So again, you see the point? So learning to learn is important. That means you see something, aku tak faham lah ni. You go and check. You go and reference, you go and do. And then you come back. And then you apply. Then I give you the mark. Now I give you 5 and below. Now you know it's wrong. Then you can have to start to think, hey, what is wrong with my approach? So what I'm saying is, attend to every detail. Tomorrow your boss give you an assignment. You cannot just miss something and go on to something else, Okay? If you go in some of these top organizations and the pressure is very high, you cannot afford that, right? So you learn it here now. So if you got 5 and below, you should come back to me and say, sir, thank you. You shouldn't be upset. You should say thank you, right? I'm making you do again and I'm having to mark it again. I'm having to put the remarks in again. I'm having to do a lot more work than I should. But so just take it that way, guys. Number 3, inserting figures, tables, diagram with no explanation or application. I need here. Appendices, just dumb pictures, pop, pop, pop. Paste all the quarters, 5 forces, this and that. It's like almost you're trying to educate me. I don't want. I dah pergi sekolah banyak kali lah. I don't want to go anymore. So guys, whenever you put a table, you must give a table or a figure a title, and you must explain it. Any paper in your substance, in your actual context, in your appendices also, you must explain. You never put something and never explain. So quite a few were doing that. So be careful. Next time other assignments, you watch it. That's number 3. Number 4, weak conclusions and inferences. Must always have a conclusion. The conclusion is where your voice comes out, isn't it? Yeah, I know you told me about qualified forces. You did the analysis, you did this, you did that. You notice that even the analytical instruments that I give you is very simple. Why? Because my concentration is more on now that you have done this analysis, which you understand, fine, qualified forces. So what are the implications? Apakah akibatnya? Inferencing. In future, what will happen? What is the impact on the organization? This is what we want to know. We want to know Simon's opinion. We want to know Nisa's opinion, Hazila. Hey, so what? Right? So always it's so what, right? So when you deal with your bosses as well, it's the so what question. You go and tell your boss, oh, boss this, boss this, boss that. Yeah, you're just an average employee. But if you answer the so what question, your boss will notice you. Hey, that's Simon. Hey, that's Nisa. Your voice is there. Otherwise, you'll be just like any other employee, isn't it? So I'm just saying that we learn it here. So always conclusion, which means you are thinking about it. Okay, number 4. Number 5, ini dia. Soalan dia is about Malaysia, right? I said Malaysian Airlines. Some of you, of course, wrote about Brunei, Sri Lanka, Singapore Airlines. Unless you're a Singaporean, unless you're a Sri Lankan, unless you're from Brunei, it's okay. But I let it go. I should not, but I let it go. But I'm highlighting here, read the question. Right? It's very simple. Just read the question. The question just said that. So why are you going off at a tangent? This is called going off at a tangent. All right. So please check, always read the question carefully. Number 6, using US or irrelevant data diagrams. An idiot. Putting in data from the US regarding something that is not relevant. And many of them, I use the word US because many of them you seem to be taking some figures from that. But what's the relevance to the question? Nothing. So be careful about what you choose and how you apply it. Right? Otherwise, it becomes tangential or you're going off course. Right? It's wrong. Number 7, submitting late. Still, some people are submitting late. So this is an issue. Okay. So the reason why I mention it here, because when you work in your office, or don't do anything late, because then you're calling attention to yourself, right? Something is due, Nisa submitted late. Hey, who's did this report? Nisa did late. You're calling attention to your weakness, and it's very tardy, T-A-R-D-Y. That means you are very clumsy, not good, right? Never. Get to your appointments early, submit whatever you have on time, right? It's a reflection of your your discipline. I mentioned this just now as well. No voice. It is an up and thing. That means don't forget in your class now there are 100 over people, almost 200. In Malaysia, doing this probably same strategic management, there are probably a few thousand. So how is Nisa different? How is Fatina different? How is Tin Moli different? And so tomorrow, when I give you the final assessment and I discuss everything with you, so how? I'm going to tell you the standard is going to be high. You're going to have to be different. You're going to have a voice. You got no voice, you'll be average and you get an average mark. Be very careful. Okay, so just say that. This one, first let me tell you, I didn't deduct any wrong marks. Azila, boleh ke ni? You come for class also you
Sensitive,
say, bukan sensitive. Azila, what I'm saying, first, as I told you, no marks were deducted for this. But the reason why I raised this is because don't make this mistake wherever you work or you deal with clients. Don't make this mistake. Take the trouble to check their name. Not only their name, maybe you want to discuss something, right? Check to who are they? Are they locals? Are they foreigners? Where are they from? Do you know what country they're from? Right? Understand that. Right? Suddenly you talk to somebody about some country and you say, oh, it's in Africa. And they said, no, it's not in Africa, it's in Europe. That's an example. I'm purposely putting this here because I'm making that point, right? When you deal with your CEO, your managing director, your chairman, when you deal with clients, don't get it wrong. If you can, in my class where I'm seeing you for 6 weeks, you're getting it wrong. Azila, 6 weeks they saw me, they got it. So I know the work is important, but check all the details as well. But by the way, as far as this is concerned, it's not a big deal. But I'm just thinking that we should learn from this. And remember one thing, only results count. No one cares for your excuses. I'm so sorry. And I think I need to bring this home to you, right? Because tomorrow, wherever you're working, right, you can give 1,000 excuses, but it's only the results that count. Right? That makes a difference. And, if you've been working, you know how it is, okay? So this is just a few things I wanted to raise. It doesn't apply to all of you, certainly, but all of us can learn from that. Right. So now that I've done that, any questions? Hey, Bharat, does that make sense? Bharat? Just checking.
Yes, of course, Professor, I agree with you.
Yeah, because guys, you all are all working adults. You all have to check. Just be a bit aware. Kalau tidak, then let me look for the, hold on. I look for the, ini dia. Okay, this is the one now. It's supposed to be out tomorrow, but I'll put it out after this, after the class. Until the 28th, guys. Okay, just to run through with you so that you're clear. That's about a week or so. It'll be upon 100, of course. So there are two sections of A and B. So far, when we do final assessment, students answer both. It's only when we do exam, sometimes students only answer section A, because I'm not sure why. Either have they no time or they forgot to flip the page, something. Urox. Submit through Urox only, guys. Similarity index, this one we put in to turn it in, so just check on that one. This one I cannot submit late. I let you know first. You submit late is nothing to consider. You've lost the marks there. That's 30%. Overall is 30%. So please, this one misty on time. Now, I just want to highlight something about plagiarism. Plagiarism, as in, we do Turnitin check, and we also do an AI check. I have, just to let you know, you can use AI, especially in my class. I don't mind if you use AI. But if you use AI, you'll come up with a standard answer. As remember just now, I mentioned twice the word voice, right now. So you use AI to enhance your answer. That means you use AI, you get some information. Now you're applying it to the situation. Then that will be different, isn't it? Right? So you need to see how that works, right? And we've read enough papers to know what is and what isn't, So just be a bit aware of that. And this and that, this and that. Yeah, and all the academic requirements. Don't worry about all this. I mean, it sounds a bit harsh or whatever. Just take it in stride. Guys, so the two sections, section A, and so section A, guys, is a case study. It's a very simple case study. It's a case study by IKEA, something that you all know about, right? Some people are great believers in IKEA. Everything in their house is from IKEA. But I find it expensive because, but I'm poor and I'm cannot really. I think IKEA is not cheap anymore. Do you know in other countries, guys? Maybe you know this. In Europe and other places, IKEA is considered a very low-end type of place, But in Malaysia, it's considered a high-end place, even for me. But good quality, though. I mean, at least, they've got some science in that. So anyway, IKEA. So it's about IKEA. Anyway, and it starts like a Star Wars movie. Once upon a time, long time ago. Star Wars. Not exactly. Okay, and then anyway, this is the case. You all will read it when you get it. Conclusion, blah, 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 blah. Okay, the questions here. Then there will be three questions. One question, two questions, three questions. So you read the question, you answer. And then you've got section B, guys. There will be three short essay questions. You only have to answer one, right? And like I said before, all of these are application questions, right? This one is about Cik Shakira, who starts a business and discussing Porter's value chain. Porter's value chain is a very simple discussion, actually, but it's very powerful because it forces you to think in terms of the entire organization strategically, right? And how will you answer this question? Before you answer this question, and if you're not clear about Porter's value chain, all you have to do is go to the notes, and we've got notes on the value chain. Even if you don't look at the notes, you can look at that material anywhere else that you want. Doesn't matter. The important thing is you need to understand it. Only then can you advise Shakira on how to go about her business. Okay, that's it. Porter's value. That's number one, right? And you will notice that it carries 25 marks. Then we got question number 2. Question number 2 is, guess what? What's this word here?
Happiness is fleeting.
Yeah. So it's about happiness, isn't it? And you've learned about this. And the beauty of this is that it's not in even a strategic management book, but it's so important, and you know that, right? So you need to do that and explain. And you always, when you're doing it, firstly, your deep understanding, meaningful understanding of it. And the other thing is to be, to know that there are other students who are answering the same question. How will you be different? How will you stand out? All right. So you must become that purple cow. So that's something that you want to think about. Then question number 3, you've got ethical issues. Ethics is very important. Ethics in running organizations, right? This one is a lot of discussion, and the way to stand out in all of this is usually for you to give examples, and the examples can come from where? From your own organization. You know your organization very well, right? It's easy for you to write, and it becomes very believable, right? So the easy part is that there are 3 for you to choose from. Okay, so it's I would say these questions are not difficult, but they are not easy also, in a sense that it's very simple, but everybody's doing it. So what is your angle to answer this question? Okay, right. So guys, any questions on the this final assessment? Just a few questions. One of the questions that you may want to ask me is, sir, what about word count? There's no word count on this one, actually, right? The trick is for you to answer the question, okay? Even if you wanted to write an answer where you also include some extra points you want to put under and use referencing, you want to read some journals to answer the question, to add on to what you have provided. That means you say, journals have supported this idea, my organization is doing this, and this is, you want to make it that way, also can, right? So how sophisticated you want to make the answer be, it's up to you. Okay, so here's an opportunity for you, right? And always remember, there are others doing the paper as well. So how do you stand up? Okay, that will make a difference. And the standard is high. The standard is going to be high. It has to be high, right? Because it's given to you. It's you have 1 week, and so for those reasons, you need to be able to put in some thought into it. Any questions on anything else you need to know in case?
Prof, just want to check any words limitation, or we need to put reference or citation for final?
Yeah, like I just said just now, you can use references if you would like to use references. Some of you may be answering it based on using examples from your own organizations, possible. Word count, I have not put a word count there, right? So if you wanted to, you have something important to say about it, something you want to elaborate about it, you can, right? But always referencing is very good because it's an academic paper. Bermakna, for example, if we say ethics, can you have a reference on ethics, on a definition of ethics? You can, isn't it? You can just go to some journals and check and look, and it'll make your paper look that much better, right? As opposed to somebody who is just sitting there looking at it and just writing, and maybe 1 page, maybe not the best.
There's no time limit, yeah, Prof?
There's no time limit. I'm giving it to you for 1 week.
Sunday, until Sunday.
Excellent, excellent.
If you want a time limit, we can organize it.
No need, bro. No
Hey,
need, bro. No need,
yeah.
sir. No need, bro.
Sai, did you join us or not? Are you just coming on?
I'm 30 minutes late. Oh, sorry for that.
I see. Okay, anyway, please check the recording because we went through some mistakes that we talked about that people might make in exams. All those things will be useful. But never mind, no worries. So now we're done with the any other questions on the final assessment, guys?
There no appendix, is it, Doctor?
You can add an appendix if you want.
Can also.
Yeah.
Okay.
And the other thing to remember always is references come first and then appendices come second. Right? Some of you have put it the other way around. All right. So well, at least you learn it here. In your future assignments, you'll be able to handle that. Koshala, good morning.
Good morning, Prof. Yeah, it's quite clear for me. Just need to go through the questions.
I tell you, can you hear that confidence? I'm telling you, Koshala is going to start the assignment immediately after. I'm telling you, all you guys. So she'll have a head start. Shakira, you okay?
Good, Prof. Morning.
Good lah, y'all. Some of y'all are coming in after half an hour. Atika, should I penalize those who come in late?
Prof, still Raya lah.
Huh?
Still Raya.
No. I asked Atika.
No, we should not penalize them.
She wants to be popular, this one.
No. Because I could be late sometimes also, so I could
Now you're
excuse.
early. Let's penalize them. Okay, never mind. So that's it. The second thing done already. The first thing was we talked about mistakes. The second thing we talked about the final assessment. I think we're all quite clear, and you have a full week. But if you submit late, I'm telling you, will not be accepted this time. All right. So the first 2 times it was a bit okay, because part of the reason why late will not be accepted, because after that 1 week, we have to upload the marks. Guys, we have to upload. So some students in the past have come to me, not in this class. Surprisingly, this class is so large, but everybody is quite okay, I think quite good. The previous class, somebody came after the last assignment, the habis, the final assessment, and then they came and then they wanted to submit some marks. I cannot do anything about that. You know why? Because under UROX, we have a deadline, because it's a system, it's a platform, right? We have to upload certain marks because they must go to the board of examiners to verify. And then after that, it goes to the Senate for final, what should I say, certification of the results. Masa tu, we cannot put up again. The other thing is, it's your responsibility to go onto UROX and check. Some of you will notice there are some students who've got 0. Bermakna, you did not submit anything. So you cannot come to me after that and say, oh, but sir, I did submit lah, I sent to email lah, I sent to, no. It's all through UROX. I'm telling you now, it's all through UROX, and it all must be submitted within the deadline. After the deadline, even if you do and submit through my email, I cannot. Even if I mark it, I cannot put the marks in anymore. The UROX will shut the thing off. The marks has to go up. And this applies to your other lecturers as well. All right. And as far as the university is concerned, I am never late in submitting all the marks to the board. Never. Right. So I cannot be clumsy on your behalf. Because I advise you, then I also must do the same thing, right? Because there are a lot of other things that impacts the whole thing. So, okay, now that we've done this one, I will stop share this one, and then the last bit, guys, just the last bit. This last bit also is just to assist you further to do well. This one, yeah. Up and zoom up and put this. A guide to answering the question. This is to assist you, because too often I notice that the students on the subject matter, they can answer, but the technique of answering the question is not quite there. Okay, I just run through this with you. I will also put it up later, okay, so that you can look at it. So don't have to write anything down, right? Generally, that's what I do so that your students can see. So this one, very quickly, this is the last bit now, guys. This is the last bit I'm going to run through with you. Case studies, right? They are designed to test your ability to relate theories and concepts to real-world situations. So when the students, the really top student would have read maybe some texts, or maybe read some journals as well, background reading, and they would have come across some even theories on that area. They might want to cite the theories as well. This is a student that's taking it a bit further. Okay, then the important thing is it's about a real world, something that really is happening, right? And the important thing to remember when you look at the case study, guys, a very quick one, is that when you read the case study and you're answering a question on case study, you're answering about a snapshot in time of that situation, right? So some of you may say, oh, but I understand that last year, what happened to IKEA, or last week, something happened to IKEA. No. The case is not asking you about current information. The case is asking you the question in terms of what's in front of you, what has been written, the case itself. So it's a snapshot in time. We ask you to analyze that. Yeah, we know a lot of things have been happening. Sometimes the case is old, isn't it? So don't make the mistake and go and read up everything about IKEA. This is the big problem and mistake you make, and you make your life more difficult. And it's not necessary. It's not a test on the latest information about IKEA. No. Remember that. Read the question, read the case, that snapshot of IKEA's business in that time, use the question to answer that. That's all. Quite simple. Don't go and have to understand any more about IKEA than that. Not necessary, actually. Okay, just to let you know. So, and that's it, right? Preparing for case studies before the exam. I put some points here you can read, right? Practice reading the case studies, identify relevant information, right? Relating the theories to real. If you read some of the texts, you read some of the journals, you find that they keep doing that, right? During, if it's an exam, and in this case an exam, even though it's a final assessment exam that you take home, take time to plan, read the question again, the few things that I've said. These are some key points, a little bit more elaborate you can think about, right? And always try to how should I say it? Usually you need to write your answers in clearly formed paragraphs. This is important as well. Some of you may, because you have time to write, because you have 1 week, right? So you write a lot. Yeah, you can write a lot, it's okay, but you've got to break it up into paragraphs. In fact, you might break it up into some small headings as well, right? To make your answer clear. So it's very useful. Because even if you write a lot, some students are unbelievably still writing one whole point, 1.5 pages without a paragraph. And when somebody has to mark 150 papers, they're not happy. They're not a happy person. And most of the time, they will probably not even read. So just be careful, guys, just saying. Question words, what are they, right? Words such as explain and evaluate, analyze, okay? These are usually how they title the thing, right? There are varying degrees of critical responses. Now, this is, I'm showing you this one to take you to a little bit of a higher level of assessment, okay? With the word analyze, what does it mean, right? Essay questions ask you to analyze. In other words, it requires you to break the essay topic down into its fundamental parts. This is what it means. Use it to adopt a stance in your essay. Stance is what? Stance, I don't use the word stance when I talk to you, but stance is voice, isn't it? Adopt a stance. So Hafiz is reading about IKEA, but Hafiz has a stance. He may say that this is the approach, this is what it should be, this is what I recommend. Right now. Rather than Hafiz just say, okay, this is Porter, this is how it applies, 1, 2, 3, that's it. But I don't know what his stance, I don't know what his voice is. When we say voice, we mean stance, right? What is your stance? What do you think? Do you agree? Do you disagree? Why? This is important. Like I told you, and I remind you again, there are hundreds of you doing the same paper. Are you going to be different? Right? So the word analyze, that's what it's broken down to. The word evaluate, right? Evaluate, again, definitely asking for your opinion or verdict, right? The extent to which you agree or disagree, and so on, right? I will be giving you all these slides because I really want you to learn this so that as you go forward in your other classes, you will do very well. Evaluate, what does it mean? Justify, what does it mean? Okay, some questions will say justify. Justify questions. You need to explain the basis of your argument, providing the evidence, and so on and so on. Okay, that's one. Then critically evaluate. Some questions ask you that, isn't it? Right? To critically evaluate, right? Provide your opinion or verdict, set your research findings, and so on, right? An assertive essay. Okay, so even if you read a journal, maybe you agree, you disagree, right? Nothing wrong. You might even disagree with Potter also, nothing wrong, because you are using another approach, for example, right? And then the most interesting thing an MBA student can do is to compare with your own organization. Right? Talking about that, now I remember one of the parts of the assignment number 2 is what? Advise the CEO, recommend this to the CEO, isn't it? Advise the CEO. And when I read that, in my mind is like, if I'm the CEO, when I read that, most of you are writing things that the CEO's assistant will tell him, or use AI, use this, use that, finance. I told you before at the start, the CEO already knows all this. They are very experienced. What can you tell them? You should apply happiness. You should apply purple cow. You should apply all those things that I was teaching you. So most of you were not doing that. I'm not sure why. Because you got stuck on the textbook stuff, right? So you got to keep it real. This is the idea. Keep it real. Review. An answer to a review question should demonstrate critical examination of a subject. When we say review, it's very tough because you have to critically analyze it, recapping, summarizing, and so on, right? So each word means a different thing. In the question asks you. Assess. In assess question words, you are expected to consider and make an informed judgment about the value strengths, right? A lot of you just went and put in a bunch of SWOT and a lot of things. So it wasn't quite useful, right? So that's one. You can you read it when I give it to you, okay, guys. Discuss, of course, typically require an in-depth answer that takes into account all aspects of the debate. Again, it's very tough to discuss a question. Very hard because you're supposed to look at one way or the other. Most people will look at it just one way, and that's not really discussing, isn't it? Right? So yeah, so just to share with you. Examine, close examination of the points. Again, right? Actually looking at greater detail, greater understanding. Okay. Define. What does define mean? Right? How do other scholars, when we say define, that means you also need to know what other scholars are saying about it. And this is a lot as well. Why is its meaning contested? Do everybody agree on the definition? A lot of things, a lot of people, many different scholars disagree, isn't it? So if you can put two or three different points of view, it'll be very interesting. It shows that you're doing that. Demonstrate, right? Show evidence, right? Provide examples, right? Always very, very useful because it shows how well you understand the topic. Okay? Then there's the word describe, right? When you describe something, what does that mean? Recount, characterize. Elaborate, what does that mean, right? So I just put this here. Explain, what does that mean? And a lot of times questions are like that, explain something, right? So it's like you're writing for somebody who knows nothing. So you're explaining the whole thing, right? You're illustrating it at some point, right? And I won't go through this, but illustrate, what does illustrate mean? Compare, what does compare mean, right? Compare is also very hard because you need to know about a few things, right? And you compare, like some of you are comparing different airlines and so on, okay? So contrasting, right? Contrast, showing the differences, showing the similarities, what sets them apart, right? In contrast, right? So when you first get your essay question, always try to understand what the question means, what it's asking you to do, right? Read the question several times, right? And try to understand what exactly it's asking of you, right? Highlight keywords and so on. And every paragraph that you write, go back to the question and say that I'm not answering the question, and I keep it that way. And finally, remember to read through the essay at the end to check for any inconsistencies, grammatical errors, or spelling errors. Right? We didn't have too much of this one, but just a guide. Okay, so that's that. That's on that one. I will give you this one, guys. I will give you this one. I will upload it as well. Okay, so upload this one. Upload after this the final assessment, and that's about it. So that's and we've covered everything already. If you look at your final assessment questions, so you notice we've covered everything. How come we have covered everything? Right? You know why? Faisal, I have a strategy. You know what my strategy is? I do my questions before I teach the student. Jadi the student, as I told you in class, every class with me is actually quite important because I deal with the exam question for sure. Because they only have 6 weeks, so we have to take that approach, or rather I take that approach. So if you came for most of my classes, you'll find that you do quite well. Or if you were, especially if you're listening, you'll be fine. So guys, yeah, that's it for me. I'm done. As I promised you, exactly right down to the, I mean, I took a little 5 seconds more, but otherwise accurate and on time. Right. Are there
This
any
is happiness, Prof.
Yeah.
Effectual.
Effect. I tell you, all these guys, my goodness gracious, Hafiz, Farhan, I'm making a note of you, a mental note. These are the guys that we got to watch out for. They are learning too fast. Any question? Intan, any question? No? Hashima, any question?
The final questions, you're going to be uploading it tonight?
Mantri, okay, yeah, he's asking me whether the final assessment question I'm going to upload tonight. Let me ask somebody else to answer. Khairunisa, you answer that question.
After this, Prof.
Why you tell me? Tell him. He never listens.
Right after the class.
Sorry, I missed that just now.
From now on, sometimes you notice, sometimes, and not only you, but anytime I get a WhatsApp, and if I don't answer, you have to reflect on why you asked a question because I didn't answer. No, I have to do that because it is not only you, a lot of people, even my PhD students ask me a question, I didn't answer. You know why I don't answer? Because it's dead easy and you should check it yourself. One master. But if you ask a good question, then that's nice. It's interesting. It's a very interesting question. So that sort of thing. Anyone else has any question? Everybody?
Is there any rubric for us to to look at it when answering the final assessment questions? What are
No.
expectations?
The expectation I've already said just now. All those who have listened know the expectations. I went through each question.
Yeah, I noticed that, bro.
So that's it. That's the yeah. So use your judgment. Good judgment is important. Good judgment. Let me see who else. Siti, are you okay? Siti Hanira, you okay?
So far, okay, Prof.
All right. Thanks for joining. Solehan.
Okay, Prof.
I worry about Solehan. What she's got over her ear is so large. I don't know whether she's listening to music or listening to me. It's one hard to say. So bad. Okay, I'm naturally suspicious. Anyway, any other question? No question. Last night I went for a wedding. I had a class the whole day and then I rushed for a wedding. So very interesting. I was sitting next to it. I sat in a table with 10 of us in the table. It was at the Westin in KL, right? And I think there were others were couples, including me, my wife, and then there's this other couple next to me, very old. The man is 78 and the lady is also about there, I suppose. And then the others were young. I don't say young, I say middle age or 40s, 50s, maybe 50s. And I talked to the old guy, and the old lady, if you like to call it old, senior lady. They're very simple people, not too much high education or whatever I can tell, but I spend my time talking to them, not to the others. That lady has so much common sense, the wife. She's got such a simple lady and so much common sense. And we discuss cooking, because I love cooking. So we discuss a lot of that, and I learned one or two things just there just from her, just like that. I just learned things from her. And she made so much common sense. Because when I first spoke to the other people, they all tried to be smart. They all try to be, and I think to myself, my day job is to talk to smart people. When I'm not working, I want to talk to other people with more common sense.
Agree.
My wife tell me, you only talk to them. Why you didn't talk to them? I said, no. I spoke to them 1-2 sentences. I can know already. You're trying to impress me. You're trying to tell me where you work, what you do, right? One of the things I do, and something I must recommend to you is, don't go and tell people what you do and try to show that where you are from. Don't go and tell people you're a professor, you're a doctor, nonsense. Don't go and introduce yourself as doctor. Very weak. It's very, very weak and irrelevant, right? I told you my wife does fitness. She's a fitness instructor, so she's quite successful. A lot of people, and one of the persons who joined immediately introduce herself as doctor. When you introduce yourself, you introduce yourself as Intan lah, or Tan lah, or Faizal lah. Don't come and tell us you're a doctor. It bores the hell out of us lah, because it's nothing. It's sad. So don't do that lah. It's not so good. Not
Always
necessary.
go with the name your mother gave you.
I say I am now noticing Farhan, and I'm just trying to see who's going to make a mistake so I can take that mark from them and just totally give it to him. Exactly. My mother never called me Professor Doctor when I was born. She probably said idiot or something.
The idiot stupid very common when we're actually.
Yeah.
Tapi sekarang you cannot call your child stupid. Don't you dare. You kena sekarang. Now
No.
Intan, new age tak boleh. Mana boleh cakap bodoh? Cannot. You son not stupid. No. Don't use that word. My mother kena me. Maximum. I don't know about you guys, but our parents didn't care. The parents said, get your butt out and get to work. So what I'm saying is, so this lady, even though she may not be highly educated, but she's lived a long time, and especially women, women are smarter. I tell you, I don't know what to say. Oh, by the way, I don't know if I told you this. I have a new client, and just so happened, this guy also is the executive director of 4 listed companies on the Bursa. Okay. This is the second one I'm having. Second, I'm so impressed. And you know what he said? After our discussion? He said, my staff, I prefer to employ females. Dia cakap macam tu. More dependable. Faizal, don't laugh. Don't laugh. You're going to be working for a woman in the future. I'm telling you guys, one of the big issues, you look at this class now. All the camera is on. I think more than half are females. Yes or not? The class attendance, aku cakap betul, 60%, 70% is women and less of men. And the 30% that come to class are missing. Begitu. And the women will join.
We are rare breed, Prof. Rare breed.
No nonsense. You're going extinct. Okay, that's the right word. Don't use rare breed nonsense. You're going extinct.
Alamak.
Exceptional. We are limited edition, sir. Limited edition.
Limited edition.
You because you are in the class.
There will time comes when we are demanded more from them.
No, there'll be times and they will have to put up with you. All right. All of you guys, tell your friends, get used to the idea. Your bosses are going to be females only. Okay.
Yeah, man. Prof, my bosses are all females, up to the bottom to
Ah.
Same here. All
So,
female.
so if your bosses are female,
All are
the question you
female.
must ask is why? Why? It's because they are paying attention in class. They're doing their work, right? They're doing their work. I talked to the lady like last night.
Yeah,
So common sense. I talked to the executive director of this one, and you know what he's saying? He wants to hire females. What is this? You know why? So what you guys got to buck up, pull your socks up. I'm not telling you. I'm asking you to tell your friends when you go to the next teh tarik stall and sit down and tell you guys buck up. Otherwise, all your bosses will be females, and you better listen to them.
So it will just be like how we are at home, lah, Prof.
yeah. I
Hello,
couldn't agree.
speak for yourself. I'm the boss in my house. I decide everything. What the heck? What do you speak for yourself? I'm the man of the
Agree.
house.
I'm
Ah.
agree with you, sir. We are the boss.
No, listen. I'm the man of the house. Outside
I
this
agree. That's what I do.
Why are you guys whispering?
We pay for the rice. We pay for the rice.
beras, kita beli beras. Kairinisa, we want to be alive.
Beras you beli, kita masak.
Beras pun masak.
Sometimes we masak.
Ladies are hardworking, bro. Ladies are hardworking, meticulous, and they are concerned for orders. So that's why they are ni.
Who women are?
Woman lah, Prof. Prof, I'm
women.
sure this is going to be the last class.
Itu mesti sebab bini kat sebelah tu.
And you said all these things, it made me even saddened.
Tapi Prof, the guys are more creative and innovative. That's why all the inventors are from the guys.
Okay.
Thanks lah.
More creative, huh? Good. Shadow, now I know where to take the mark from. I was looking for the person. Now I found it. Good. Thanks for showing me that you don't deserve it. So anyway, guys, what I'm saying is, this is just that. I'm not sure why we are discussing this, and if got any Khalifa, you know, right? We're always going out of point, and none of you are helping. None of you. In fact, you all are adding on to the discussion. You all should say, I told you many times this, we're discussing this, not that. Tak ada kena-mengena. Anyway, by the way, the class was over about 6 minutes ago. Okay, I just waiting for see if there's any questions or whatever. If there's no questions, we're good. And I don't think I'll be seeing you after this unless you join me in another class. And I look forward to all of you, honestly. I hope when there's another course that I'm teaching, I hope you come on, because I look forward to my Sundays because of this group of you. It's so funny. And
Prof, may I know what subject are you teaching?
I don't
other
know.
than this?
I don't know. It depends on.
Can I request you?
Coordinator.
Can I request for?
Yeah.
Depending on my coordinator, what he dreams about.
I mean, I'm going to write something to Uni Razak.
Is your coordinator a woman, Prof?
See now, Khalifa, you see the impact of our discussion. Now they know. They ask this question. They respect. The respect has gone up higher. Tahu. Takut. But it's true.
I mean, we all been sleepless nights and dreamt of you marking our papers and assignments and all that. But this is going to be heavy for us.
What, this parting?
Obviously, this parting. What do you expect?
I love what you say, and it's very kind. It's just that everybody else is very cleverly saying all the right things, so there's no marks to be taken to be given to you.
I'm not expecting, Prof. I'm just feeling.
I tell you, side is the
this is the
humble
class
guy.
that I'm gonna miss the laughter and all.
Yeah, okay, coming back. That's the thing. Many of you, what I've noticed in this class is you've got a good sense of humor. Just laugh about it. Don't get too hung up. Don't get hung up on anything. And tomorrow when you do another subject, don't get hung up on the lecturer as well. The lecturer teach, they all got different styles. Don't get hung up on that. You may have a student in your study group who is irritating. Also don't, right? Have a good laugh and then just move on. Okay, because I'm telling you that because I practiced that when I was doing my MBA as well, right? I never got caught up in anything, right? The lecturer was no good. I'm doing my work. This. Just carry on, right? So one of the key advice I got from this lady, she said her husband loves to talk politics and read about politics and talk about this, that. And you know what she said? That's wrong. Don't waste your time, because the politician doesn't even know what time you go to sleep. That the politician doesn't even know whether you're hungry. He doesn't know. You do your job. You do what you're supposed to do. Don't worry about all that. It's correct. Isn't it correct? Betul tak? You do your
Common
work.
sense. Common sense.
She said that.
Agreed.
Sangat betul.
Kalau tidak, you're wasting your time. This government lah, next government lah. Oh, next government be better and better and better. Nobody knows, nobody. And nothing, it's not going to change. You know, like they say, it doesn't change the price of fish in China. So whenever somebody tells you something that's political or something about your own office, something to do with politics in your office, you ask yourself this question: what has that got to do with the price of fish in China? Will it change the price of fish in China? No, it won't. It's so remote. It doesn't matter. You go back, you do your assignment, you do your reading, you plan for your own future, what you're going to do. And this is important. You see? So this is the approach lah. So that way your mindset is focused on what you need to do, right? And I can see many of you here are really spot on with that. So like I said, if there's a course and I get to see you again, that's my good luck. My good luck.
Inshallah too.
Okay, guys. So have a great Sunday. Have a great week. All right. Finish your assignment quickly. Go out for a run. Go catch a movie. Take it easy. Put your feet up. Have a coffee. Watch some Netflix, and like that. It doesn't have to be all gloom and doom. Right? Trust me. Okay. All right. So if there are no question, guys, Ten Muli as well. Thank you. Certainly, all of you. I look forward to seeing you again. All right.
Thank you, Prof.